morning.
Merry Blizzard. What a Christmas.
You know what? And I guess for all the people who have been celebrating down south, I've seen a lot of people who just kind of got out of Dodge, forget a Canadian Christmas, and they've gone away and they're posting pictures in like by the beach and like in their bathing suits. And I'm like, well, blah.
Not us. No.
Not our situation.
No, lots and lots and lots and lots of snow, lots of cold. We got stuck. We were just talking. We got stuck twice in 4-foot drifts on Christmas Eve. Had to be pulled out by tractor.
And you couldn't even get home.
No.
Like that's sometimes what people don't understand. They think, well, drifts, it'll go away or you can go around them. You couldn't get to your house. So you couldn't even go home.
Couldn't go back home. So stayed here at the studio until got back at 3. It took us basically, it took us about 4.5 hours. We got stuck twice. It's only like from here to the cottage or the house is about, on a bad day, 15 minutes. That's if you really had to battle snow and sleet and so it was 4.5 hours to get back here, and then we were here for Christmas Eve. Yay. So it was all kinds of fun, but that's how it goes. And I think we're just like a lot of people. Every single person up here that I've talked to didn't have the Christmas that they expected. Like nobody could come or they couldn't go. So most people were, and I don't know anyone who actually made their turkey on Christmas.
That's really funny because we didn't either.
It's so weird. We made it the next day. We made it, Boxing Day, right?
Yeah.
So, so weird.
And you know what? Holidays bring out, unfortunately, either the worst or the best in people. And I don't really feel that there's sort of an in-between. And I'm like you, go with the flow. And you were just saying about, the person who lived close by where you got stuck, invited you into their house, for a drink, someplace to stay warm. Like that's the part of the story you want to hear. You want to hear that, somebody was really nice or, really supportive. So we flew. So we flew a really quick trip. We literally flew out on the 24th and came back yesterday. So it was like, I don't think I've ever flown so quickly in 3 days.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it's the stress of the holidays or whatever the case may be. Like on the flight going there, there was a mix up with the seats, and the guy who was sitting in my son's seat was just really like, well, I want to get home to my family and I don't care. And I'm in the wrong and I'm on the wrong flight, but it doesn't matter. Like, I don't understand people's philosophies, but that's fine. And then on our way back, we had the opposite experience. Something had slipped out of my son's bag during security check, and they found it and they called us back to get it. And to me, that was just like, that's the heartwarming kind of, part of the holidays, where the generosity, the going out of your way to help somebody's Christmas. They could have very easily kept it. It was cash. They could have very easily kept it. It was just, whatever. But they didn't. They called him down. They gave it to him. They said, Merry Christmas. Like, that's what you want to hear. And then we land in Toronto, and, a lot of people. So I don't know how many people have taken flights, but the etiquette is that the first rows go first, and then and then the next row, and then the next row, and then the next row. Yeah. So it got to our row, and we're about to stand up, and we had people just kind of flying by us. And I'm like, I was so confused. I was like, what's going on here? Like, I understand. Like, well, exactly, right. They were flying by us. And then it was actually really funny because the person behind me, because she saw I was kind of confused over why we weren't.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's okay. We'll let you go. We know what the etiquette is. And she said it really loudly.
It is like, I'm from the city. I live in rural now, but I'm from the city. And there is a massive difference between how people behave in big cities versus the country. I mean, it is true. I really notice it because I'm from both now, right? So I can see it. And now when I go back into the city, I'm more, aware.
Mhm.
of it, and it's really surprising. That's why a lot of people up here call people who are from the city idiots. So, which I love. That's a good word because it is true. I
Yeah.
mean, like especially like as you said, you're on a plane. You're trying like, what are they going to save? 30 seconds by rushing past you? Like, what is that going to do in their lives?
Yeah. Like,
And
like
like
it
you can
takes
just chill. Like that's
exactly.
when we were stuck, I was saying when we were stuck in the snow and I was with my son and we were laughing and it was more of an adventure. It wasn't, we were not stuck like the people who were in like Fort Erie and Buffalo who like, people died like in their cars and stuff because they couldn't. We always knew at the worst case scenario, we just stay at the neighbor's house, like across that you could see, and even down there, all farms and stuff, but there was many of them. So we knew we could go
You were
anywhere.
you were safe.
Yeah, we were safe. So
Yeah,
we
your
were
safety was
kind of
not.
laughing and my son went into their house and hung out and I was like posting on Instagram. It was very funny to us because even though we weren't prepared and that shame on us because learn my lesson because you know what? Yeah, when your mom used to say put gloves and a hat and a candle in your car and you never listened to her? I'm doing that now. So
Public service announcement for people who live in Winterland.
so but it's sad when you're in the holidays and up here it was interesting because even when I went to some of the grocery stores because I can remember being in the city and Chris 23rd 24th you have to go to the grocery store and everyone's a nightmare, right? Everyone's like mad and lines and pissed off and they're and there was masses of people in the one or two grocery stores we have up here and everyone was nice.
Right.
Everyone's talking, oh, what are you doing for Christmas? I don't know these people, who's coming over, right? Like it's a totally different experience. So
Right.
you know what? We gotta learn our lesson. I can't
Absolutely.
read anything you're posting. So
That's okay. Yeah. We just had a couple of saying, you know what, really glad that you're okay. Good morning. And yeah, really good lesson, right? To be
really,
prepared. And I
really, yeah,
think and we were sort of talking because you just want to slow down a little bit, but you
yeah,
also need to just courtesy,
yeah,
general niceness to
yeah,
the stranger next to you. And like
yeah,
I said, I just feel like there's two distinct different types of people. Like you said,
yeah,
your plans totally messed up, right?
totally.
You were not home for Christmas morning like you had planned, and a lot of people had that situation. A lot
Yeah,
of people were really worried about the weather on the 23rd and the 24th, at least in this part of the
yeah,
country. Couldn't necessarily do what they wanted to do. Our plans, sort of switched in the middle of stuff.
yeah,
We were hoping to do takeout on the 25th, like actual Christmas Day.
yeah.
You can't. Not where we were. There
No,
was not one single place open. I was hoping somebody might open for people who either don't celebrate Christmas
yeah.
or don't have sort
Usually
of those
there is.
traditional dinners or whatever. So there wasn't. That's okay.
Well, that's what
So
happened to us, right? So Christmas Day, I was supposed to make the turkey and everything, and I wasn't home in the morning early enough to do everything that I was supposed to do. So, and I was exhausted because we didn't sleep, obviously. So I just said, okay, we'll do the turkey on Boxing Day. And we went and got Chinese food on the 25th because it was open.
that's what wasn't open where I was. Because I would have done that too, right?
It was
Yeah.
great. It was great because it ended up being a really lazy day where I just watched, Christmas movies, watched Die Hard 2 and 3 that I missed the first day because I saw Die Hard 1 the day before.
We watched Die
But
Hard on Christmas Day.
yeah, well, you have to watch Die Hard at Christmas. Like, shame on you guys if you didn't. Die Hard, Elf. We talked
Yeah.
about this last week.
Yeah.
So, and a couple other ones. We even watched The Grinch, which is one of yours. So, anyway.
Yeah, didn't watch that one. But yeah, so you know what? I just think it's interesting how I don't know how to word it, but basically, like when something's happening, so a flight is delayed, we had to change gates a few times. The plane had landed in a different spot. I know when I was there last time, like it's just that sense of all of a sudden you're going through something similar,
Yeah.
and that all of a sudden it's It's like people on the plane were talking
Yeah.
to each other. So, for example, when on the flight out, when the man was sitting in the wrong, was on the wrong plane and was sitting in my son's seat, like I was ended up having conversations with so many people on the
Yeah.
plane, right? It almost becomes like a little community because you're coming in on common ground,
Yeah.
right? Which is really cool. And you end up having
Yeah.
this conversation. Same thing at like airports, like things are delayed, people are trying to figure it out. You end up kind of building these little networks of people, right? Which is kind of cool.
Well, that's why, as you guys know, we're launching the network January 1, and that's part of
How
it.
many
Like when
days are we away now? Hang on. Can we do a countdown? We're like literally like 1, 2, 3, 4 days away.
yeah, just wait till you see how much work we have still to do. But it's interesting because it's the same kind of thing when you're in a group where you kind of are speaking the same language because you're talking about the same kind of things. It just feels casual and easy, and you're able to get things done, right? And that's the difference. So, you're not when you end up somewhere that have different interests, or you're talking about different things. You're not on the same plane. You're not stuck in the snow with people that understand what it's like to be stuck in the snow. It's not the same. So yeah, you this kind of camaraderie, and you just kind of it's good. So it makes a massive difference. But speaking of launching in a couple of days, what's funny is what I find kind of amusing at this time of year is you lose track of time, right?
Yes.
You lose track, so you don't know if it's Monday or Tuesday or Sunday. Like you have no idea when you're on holiday because you've been so focused on making sure everything's cool and that the actual date that you're going to see people and what you have to do that I like yesterday I was like, what day is it? Like I didn't remember.
Yeah.
And it's just a total, so you have to kind of reel yourself back in and make sure that you're on track. It's very easy to keep slipping, right?
Yeah.
Very easy to keep saying, I'll get back eventually. But no, you got to stay on track. And we have hard deadlines that we have to make. So it's always good practice. So if you haven't set up your stuff for the new year, today's a good day to just pencil some things in your calendar so that you will stay on track, so that you'll be like, yes, I'm going to start, maybe I'm going to take, a couple more days off, but then I'm going to be ready to go first week. And a good way to do it is to come to our workshop. So we have
on January the 5th. So next Thursday, which is hard to believe that it's a week away. But if you go to what's working 2023, we're going to do a look back. We're going to do a look forward. I have such a fun, actionable list of things that you can implement to increase your business in 2023.
Yeah, so we're going to look at truly what's working this year. And so many things have changed and what people are direct. So if you've been like, for example, if you've been working on, webinars for the last couple of years, webinars are kind of, people will say, oh no, they're still working. Not so much anymore because people are getting kind of tired of it because they know what the deal is. They know they're not live. And so all those kind of things, if you want to know what's replacing them and what's happening, this is it. And we are doing it in our community, and you guys are going to join us for free. So
I'm so excited. We're literally doing some beta testing for the next couple of days, and we're going to be off to the races, and people are like waiting to get in. We have not opened the doors. January 1. You want in, let us know, get on the wait list, join the webinar, whatever, not the webinar, join the workshop. Talk about webinars. You got my webinar in my brain.
The mastermind.city and just sign up for any email list. You don't even have to go there. You're going to get there. So anyone who is a subscriber of ours, you're going to get an email letting you know exactly how to get in to make sure you have a seat to join us in the workshop. And again, we're doing this live, so it's a Q&A. You can ask us whatever you want, how it pertains to your business, how you can implement it, what you shouldn't be focusing on anymore, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is our last live of 2022, which
It
is
is.
pretty crazy to think about that we've been doing
Yeah.
this. I don't know if it's been 2 years or almost three at this point,
Yeah. Three, I
that
think.
we've been going live every week.
Mhm.
So if we want to give a really quick look back, what are some of the top things that you can either remember, lessons you've learned, things that we've gone through this year?
Well, I think so for us, for our business, one of the two lessons really. One to me is that we did a lot of different testing. We did a
Yes.
lot of different things. We threw a lot of things at the wall, see what would stick. And we recognized what you guys wanted from us, which was you wanted live immersive training. You wanted a community. You wanted access to us because the truth is you can buy as many programs as you want. But if you don't have somebody to bounce ideas off of or Q&As or anything, it's hard to implement.
Yeah.
So we recognize that, but we couldn't get there until we tried everything. And we tried lots of different softwares and we tried lots of different avenues to get with you. So I think to me, that was our biggest lesson, to really drill down and go, okay, let's give our clients and our subscriber base what they really want, and not worry about the rest of the fluffiness, because the people that really want to work on their business and they want to get ahead, they know what they need. And what we found too with when we were running our summer schools, and that the people that stepped up and said, yes, I want a hot seat, yes, I have questions, they're the ones that propelled their business.
Yeah.
Right. The ones that just watched the videos and sat back, well, you can watch as many training videos as you want. If you don't actually implement stuff, it doesn't get done.
Exactly.
How about
Exactly.
you?
Well, I think the big thing for me was just testing out the different platforms.
Yeah.
So we literally ended one of them very early on in 2022.
Yeah.
And we're like, this one didn't work. And we tried another one. And I felt like, again, we were trying to put a round peg in a square hole. We really thought that one was going to, okay, this one's it. We purchased, we developed, we put all of our energy into it. And there was nothing that we could do to make it work. And
Yeah.
there's no point in forcing something if your community is not going to be able to use it. So
Right.
again, great to have a community, but if it's confusing and you
Yeah.
can't figure out where the information is and you don't know when things are happening and you don't know how to access it
Yeah.
and you don't know how to communicate with people, there's no point
No.
in having it. So when we found this one, I think this was probably our biggest win
Yeah.
for 2022.
And the
Sorry.
most costly.
Yeah, but it
But you
wasn't.
know what? It
Yeah.
is true. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. And
you know,
I guess what we thought was that, we're really good. We can figure it out. We can make it work. We can, do all of these
yeah.
things and see if we can use it in different ways because we're creative when it comes to how to use different platforms and stuff like that. But what we realized is it's user experience.
Right.
It doesn't matter if we can use it. It's the user experience.
Right.
So we said, you know what? No, we're going all in on this one, and we're really excited for what this one is bringing. Again, ease of use, a lot of information in there, easy to find information. And what I think is really cool is even the people who developed the platform are going, wow, we never really thought about using it this way.
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay, yeah, let's see if we can do this. Like the girl that we're working with actually took it to her team and was like, look what we're doing here. Like, they didn't realize that it could be used in this way. So we're really excited for people to go in, take a look around, and see what it's all about.
And we just wanted a place where, as you know, Stacey said, it's easy for everyone, and it's easy for us too. Yeah. Right? Like if we're like spending hours trying to figure how to connect things and do something, it's not, that's not the best time utilization. So we wanted something that we could, have ready to go if we want to, which we'll do, just do pop-ups. Anyone who's in our community, we might just go, oh, let's just go on today and do some hot seats just because we're here. And anyone happens, we're going to send out a notification. Anyone who wants to jump on and ask us questions, go ahead, or maybe we're trying out some new, software. We're like, hey, anyone out there? Why don't you guys come along the journey, and you can be one of our beta testers. You can check it out, and maybe you're going to want to use it too. So
Yeah.
it's going to be great for us because we'll be able to give out more value to our subscriber base and to our clients so that they can actually, move forward quickly. I think that the key this year is, I think, all the excuses are gone now.
Yeah.
COVID's, I mean, I know it can rear its ugly head again, but we've now settled it. You can't use that excuse anymore. It's time to go to work and
Hmm.
get things done. So, we're hoping to make that easy for everyone by giving you one place that you can go in, ask all your questions, get everything you need, understand what trends,
Yeah.
find people to work with you, partnerships, referral people, any of that stuff, one place, and like-minded people. So we're really excited about it.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like you kind of just said about, you can't just sit back anymore. Like, you have to take action. You have to move forward, because unfortunately, if you're just going to go, oh yeah, whatever, like, I get
Yeah.
it, there's things happening, but I can catch up.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be more difficult because things are now happening really quickly,
Yeah.
which is why we're doing this What's Working now every
Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
to keep you on track. You don't have to worry about seeing what the latest and greatest is. I'm going to tell you
Mhm.
every month, which is good. But if you wait for like 6 months, it's going to be harder to catch up.
Yeah.
And if you do today, making what's the saying? Like, you do one small step today.
Yeah. That's it. Like, it's just one thing. If you just go up and sign up for, the wait list to make sure you get a spot in the workshop, and come join us live. And that's all you need to do. It's the first week of January. It's the perfect time for you to, go ahead and, relax for the next couple of days if you want to, enjoy your New Year's, and then show up on the 5th with us, being prepared to say, okay, you know what? My business isn't really in the place I want it to be. And I can't do the same thing because I'll get the same results. So let me watch this. Let's see what's happening, and let's start moving it forward. Because it might just be a little tweak. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I guess for me, what I always notice when we get hot seats or we get live Q&As, people come to me, it's always a very small tweak. It's usually as simple as they're not really making the right offer, in terms of people don't know what they really are
Mhm.
getting with that person, whether it's a service or a product or whatever. So that's the if you don't have that right, that number one piece, if you don't know what your signature message, offer, product is, if you don't have it nailed, you can do all the training you want with everyone and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you need to nail that first. And that's the stuff that we do in the community all the time, every single week. That's what we work on. You can just show up and go, hey, I want to do what I learned in the workshop, What's Working Now. But is my message right first? Like, am I offering the
Yeah.
right thing? Because if you're not, doesn't matter what Stacy tells you about what's the latest trend, it's not going to work for you.
Exactly. It's true. It's very true. It's actually funny. We were actually talking about that. I think it might have been even over Christmas dinner. I don't know how that came up over Christmas dinner, but I think, like, one of my parents asked, like, what's the biggest thing that you and Faye help people with? And I said, people get lost in lingo. People get lost in their own industry. People think they're talking to a colleague when they're explaining what they do, but they're not. They're actually talking to a client, and the client doesn't understand,
Yeah.
or a potential client doesn't understand sort of some of that lingo, or some of that verbiage that they're using. And sometimes we need to kind of bring that back and literally, I didn't say signature message, but that sort of ends up what it is
Yeah.
explaining what you do to somebody who doesn't understand your industry.
What you do
Is
and
the
what your
hardest thing.
offer is, right? What you do and what your offer is.
Yeah.
Because you can say, you can say, I'm a lawyer. Great. But what's your offer? What can you do for me? Are you a real estate lawyer? Or can you help me with a divorce? What is it that you offer me? I get it. You're a lawyer. That's for you. That's your message. You're a lawyer, but you need to go a little bit further
A
and
little bit
say,
further.
well, but what do you offer out there? So, I mean, if I'm looking for somebody to do my real estate transaction and you do criminal law, it's not going to really help me much, right?
Exactly, because all you're going to do is go, "Oh, you're a lawyer. I need a lawyer," and they're going to go, "Well, I
Yeah,
don't really do that part of," you know what I
right.
mean? And you're like, "Well, because most people don't understand what that
And that's the same
that
for
looks like."
those of you who are, in particular, business coaches or life coaches. You guys are the ones that need to get your clarity around what your messages, what your offers are more than anyone else. Because when you say you're a business coach, what does that mean? Are you a business coach? Do you help online businesses? Do you help do funnels? Do you help do copywriting? Or do you help more in, analyzing what your vision is and what your offers are? Like, what is it that you do? Because
Yeah,
a lot of business coaches say I do everything. Not true. You're usually good at, a couple of things. That's what you're known for, and that's where you get your results. Like, I mean, a business coach may only do advertising. Like,
yeah,
they help you with all your YouTube, Facebook, Google ads, and that's it. But they're still a business coach.
exactly.
So,
That's a big one. I think of
yeah,
VAs like that too. VAs
yeah.
have really become, almost essential to a
Mm.
business, and they have such a wide spectrum of what they can do, and a lot of them really do specialize in sort of specific aspects of that. Because if you get
And
a general,
you have to, because especially, I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, not online here, but we talked about the fact that people think that, oh, if you can get somebody to do copywriting, they can also do your graphics and they can do your web design. Like, it doesn't work that way. Because if you're really good, if you're a creative, if you're a creative person, you're usually not so good at the more businessy stuff. You're
yeah,
good at making things look great, and you might be good at tech, and you might be good at, but there's going to be something that's not your strong suit, and that's where you go to get that from somebody else. So there aren't a lot of people. I don't really know anyone that is great at everything.
no, I
And if
don't.
if you find somebody, they would be very expensive.
I was just gonna say they cost a fortune.
So, and I just don't know if anyone has that skill set that they could be good at everything. Listen, we're very good. We have clients. We help them with their marketing, with their business, with their online pieces. We're very good at tech, and we can do our own website graphics and stuff. It's just not that good. You don't want us to do your graphics. We can, but it's not very good.
Well, she can.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed anymore.
Yeah, you're not allowed. I can do enough to make it passable,
Yeah.
but it's not really attractive. It's good enough, but
Yeah,
not.
you can do good enough. I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been banned. I will put a holder image on something just because I need it to, because I need to see something so that I understand it. And then
Yeah.
I show it to Faye, and she's like, "Oh my god, you need to change that image."
Yeah. See, because I have
I've been
that.
banned.
But yeah. So, I mean, there's so
Well, you need
much.
to know your strengths too. Like that's the whole thing. Like who do you need? And that's why I love one of the aspects is going to be we have what we call an opportunities board. So if you do provide a service, you
Yeah.
can actually put your service on there. And if somebody needs it, they can see that instead of having to search and ask and stuff like that. They can literally look right on the board and go, oh, I need a graphic person. Oh, I
Yeah.
need a life
Copywriter. We
coach or
need,
a business coach that focuses on this. And that's why it's really important to understand what you do so that
yeah.
people can also understand what they can hire you for.
Exactly. It's really it's I mean, and then I think one of the big ones, again, I keep harping back to our live Q&As and our hot seats. It's because we will go through your website and tell
Yeah.
you why your page isn't accurate or why your offer's not there. We've met a lot of people who are really smart people who offer a lot, and you look at their website and you're like, ugh, like I have no idea what you do based on your website, or like it's just not even professional enough to, like, sometimes good enough isn't good enough. You know what I mean? When you think it's good
Yeah.
enough, it's
Well, and
not.
I always go back to like that, again, I know where my strength is. I can technically set up
Yeah.
a website. I
Yeah.
can technically make everything work, all the back end stuff, no problem. I can put it all together and it will work.
Yes.
It won't convert
Right.
because the
So, and
look
that's what we
of,
do. Like
that's the
we
difference.
we
There's
put
is a
our
difference.
Stacy does the tech in the back, I do all the copywriting, and then we hand it over to someone, Spencer, to make it look good
Yeah.
and convert, because that's half the battle, right?
Yeah.
So even though
Everything
people
needs to
say,
come together.
and for those of you, I mean, a lot of you guys know, you might be, Kajabi or ClickFunnels or lead pages, whoever you're using, and everyone says it's easy, it's easy. It's not as easy as you think. Yes, you get the base of a page, but the picture, the copywriting, everything, you still have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So with everything, it's like, oh, just run a Facebook ad. Well, it's not that easy.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to go into it. So we're excited. We're excited that we've been working really hard over the past little bit. We're not excited that 2022 is coming to an end, but we're very excited about 2023.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for the workshop that's happening next Thursday. So.
Yeah. So make sure you sign up. Just go and if you sign up today, you're going to get on January 1st, you're going to get the invite into our network, so you can come in and set up a profile and meet some people and be ready to go for 2023.
All right. We will see you.